Welcome back to TV5 News at 9. It is time now for Aging in Style with American Retirement Advisors. Joining us now is President and Owner Joe Vitale. Thank you so much for calling in today, Joe.
Thank you for having me. Good morning. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you for being here. Well, grab some a pen and some paper. Great tips today. Americans are living longer and longer, but most of us really don't want to work any longer. So today we're talking about planning for longevity in retirement. First, is it important, Joe, to legally prepare with trust or powers of attorney? Tell us about that.
Absolutely. Of course, I'm not an attorney, but we do work with some really good elder law attorneys and estate planning attorneys. And in the old days, a lot of people would just say, oh, as long as I have my kids on everything, my house, my bank accounts, everything will be fine. It's not the old days anymore. And you really need to properly prepare with trust, powers of attorney. You want to make sure that everything bypasses probate. Otherwise, if you don't have a trust or powers of attorney or a will at the least, you'll be intestate, where you have to go to the probate court to decide who gets what. And anybody can contest that. That's the other problem, is it's tied up in probate for a long time. Another thing most people don't realize is that with husband and wife, yes, you have your joint account, and your house, of course, if one of you passes, goes to the other one. But if you have IRAs, a husband or a wife have no rights over the other ones. And if you have to access that for care or for the loved one, there's no access to that unless you have a properly executed financial power of attorney. Very, very important to have those. Also to make sure that your house has the proper deed work to bypass probate, and a good attorney would know how to do all that the right way.
Okay, that sounds good. So we want to live a long financial life as well. So tell us about proper portfolio asset allocation. Is that really the key to living a long financial life, Joe?
Well, it really is, because you could be ultra conservative and get 0.0 on your accounts, but it's safe, right? And the problem is with inflation, you're not keeping up with inflation. You're using that money to live on, and you could run out of money very easily. The other option is you could be more aggressive, you could be more risky, and you could have the money in the market, and you're just pulling money off. The market's doing great, so you're feeling really good. But we could have some down years, and we've seen some down years over the last 20 years for sure. And if you're allocated like that, you won't make it, because you're living on that money, pulling it off when the market's down. So when you're allocated the right way, you've got a good balance of risk money and safe money. So you can pull money when the market's doing great. You can take some off the top. You can work off the dividends. There's a lot of good options. But when the market's down, then you also have your safe bucket. So you can pull as you need to, but still get very good rates of return to make sure you're keeping up with inflation. The last thing you need is, when you're in retirement in your golden years, you want to enjoy it. You don't want to say, oh my goodness, do I have to go back to work? Or can I even go back to work? Or what am I going to do? And then the kids are all worried, and everybody's worried. You want to make sure, with proper allocation, take that off the equation, off the table. You can now enjoy your retirement, live the right way, and have that peace of mind that you need.
Yeah, if you're retired, you want to have that R&R, definitely. You want that safe bucket. I love that, Joe. So is it really necessary to work with an elder law and estate planning attorney, Joe?
You know what? I can tell you, I've been in financials for over 30 years, but in the last 15 years, we have worked so much in the long-term care world, where we've got a lot of Medicaid strategies or veterans benefit strategies. And unless you're with a good elder law attorney, you could really not have the right documents that you need. You could have a good estate planning attorney, and they're great attorneys, they're very knowledgeable, but elder law is a specific, a specific realm, and it's a specific niche there, where they know what to do with the probate courts, what kind of language you have to have in the powers of attorney. As an example, we have Carol Thomas and Jim Thomas right here in Saginaw. Excellent attorneys. I work very, very close with them. There's nobody better. I'm going to tell you right now, when it comes to asset preservation, when it comes to looking out for you, making sure your documents are in the right order, they do a phenomenal job. So I'm very thankful and pleased to work with them, because I know that when I refer my clients over, they're so well taken care of, and I have seen them really protect so much money. Where it's like anything else. I mean, you can, if you're an electrical engineer, you're extremely knowledgeable, but you're not going to be doing mechanical engineering,
right,
or architectural engineering. There's different specialties, and that's why a good elder law attorney, as you get older, you want to make sure your documents have everything necessary to bypass probate, to be able to do Medicaid planning, so you don't have to go broke on everything you work so hard, which we're talking about longevity and making sure you have enough money. And if you're not properly prepared for the potential threat of a long-term care need, which 70% of Americans are going to have at one time or another, then you're really missing the boat. So you really want to make sure you're prepared for that as well.
Yes, we do. We love attorney Carol Thomas, just like we love you, Joe. Tell us now, it's tax season. A lot of people are stressed about this. So how can we know if we're working with a good tax preparer?
You know, a good tax preparer is not just going to do a return, but also going to look for some areas of need when they're doing their taxes. And that's the thing, so many of the tax preparers are so unbelievably busy right now, right? We've got a few more days, and they're just going crazy, working horrible hours. But it's hard to look at a case and say, listen, what can I do better to save taxes? And that's what a good tax preparer is going to look at. They're going to look at some windows of opportunity. We work with a lot of them, and one of the things that we'll do is we're trying to get a little proactive, because we're looking not only right now, but down the road. And a lot of people are like, oh, I'll never touch my IRA. I don't want to pay tax on that money. And then when it comes to a long-term care need, you know, you've got all this taxable income that has to be taxed at a high tax bracket. So when we deal with a lot of the accountants out there today and the tax preparers, we're letting them know. I encourage that conversation with them, so we can say, listen, we really want to help our clients pay less taxes and be very tax efficient with their retirement and with their income. So we want to look at some ideas to maximize their tax brackets, and that's what we're doing with our accountants. The tax preparers is maximizing tax brackets right now, because we see down the road taxes have to go up. We just know with all this trillions of stimulus that's going on right now, one way or another is going to be paid for. We've already seen what the proposed tax plan is. Taxes will be going up. So we really want to be proactive right now, work with the accountants right now to make sure that we've got a good tax plan.
Sounds good. Thank you for this valuable information, Joe. We appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Of course, you're welcome. And this is not over. You can get all of your questions answered by Joe right after the news at 9 is over. We will be live on our WNEM TV5 Facebook page at 10. Join us. You do not want to miss it.